Hi, this is Sidney from Au Fil du Tricot, and today with Neo we are going to talk about the Garter Stitch. We'll begin with a quick recap on what the knit stitch and the purl stitch looks like. Then I'm going to show you how you can find the right side in Garter Stitch, no matter if it's work in knit stitch, purl stitch, and independent of the cast on you used. And to finish, I will show you how you can easily count the rows in the Garter Stitch. In the description below, I have put the exact moment each section begins. In the description below, I have put whenever a new section begins. See, that last row was made knitting. So all the stitches here, looking like little V's, are making the hollow. If I look at that last row on the other side, what I see little wavelets here that makes the ridges. Garter stitch is a textured knit made with hollows in here and ridges here. That's the ridge, that's another ridge. Since I know that I'm working in knit stitch, whenever I need to look for the right side to the wrong side, I go to the cast on and look at the first row, and whenever that first row, which is here and here, is hollow, like that side, I know that this side is the right side, because I made the cast on and directly and immediately knitted all the stitches. Since I knitted all the stitches, the hollow here shows me the right side of the pattern. That last row was made by purling all the stitches, which means that this is the right side of a purl stitch, and all I see is the wavelets. So whenever I'm purling a stitch, if I see a wavelet, I'm on the right side. But on the wrong side, a purl stitch looks like a V and create the hollow. The same logic applies for a sample of Garter stitch made with purl stitches. What I need to look for is for the cast on. If I open up really big my sample, I can see here on top of that thumb the cast on and the V made when the stitch is knitted. However, now I'm working a purl stitch, so if I see the V, I know that I'm on the wrong side of the purl stitch, which make that row the hollow and the wrong side. If I turn the sample, I can see the cast on and immediately all the wavelets made by a purl stitch worked on the right side, which makes that side of the sample the right side. Some people will say that if you want to find the right side from the wrong side in your Garter stitch, you have to look at the end of skein thread. If the end of skein thread is coming out on the right side of your sample, like this one, then you're looking at the right side. But if we take a look at the sample we used earlier, we know that that side is the right side because there's the hollow here. Okay, but my end of skein thread is on the left side of my sample, whereas here is on the left side. That's come from the fact that I use two different kind of cast on. Here I use the knitted cast on, in which I'm not using the end of skein thread to cast on my stitches. I'm only using the skein thread to cast on all my stitches, which means that the end of skein thread stays on the left side. However, for that sample, I use the long tail cast on. My skein thread and my end of skein thread are both used at the same time, and both of them ends up on the right side. All of that to say that you cannot always rely on the position of the end of skein thread when looking for the right side from the wrong side in garter stitch, but you can always look for the cast on here and here, and the first hollow, which is here and here, made by the first row knitted. Now that I have identified the right side of my sample, it's easy for me to count the rows. Each hollow is made on the right side, each ridge is made on the wrong side. So that hollow is the first row, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, fifth, sixth, seventh, etc., etc. Now that I know that I have a ridge every 2 rows, it's even easier for me to count, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 the ridge, 5, 6 the ridge. I can count 2 by 2, which makes that sample made with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That one is the 20th row, and the one on my needles with all the stitches on the needles is the row 21. And that's all I had to say about garter stitch. If there is anything you would like to add or have any question, feel free to comment below. You can find all my videos here, and remember to subscribe so you know whenever a new video is up. See you soon, bye bye!